It should have been me. Welcome back to another My Hero Academia anime versus manga comparison video, breaking down season 6 episode 2 titled Mirko the number 5 hero, which happens to be the same title as chapter 262. We'll be going over all of the changes made from the manga to anime adaptation, and of course if you are new to the channel then be sure to subscribe with notifications turned on so that you don't miss a video. To start us off, episode 15 continues right where we left off with Mirko coming face to face with Garaki. Here, as Garaki is witnessing all of his hard work being destroyed, he has a little flashback showing a pre-All Might ass whooping All For One, his work where the anime removes All For One's praise that he gives Garaki in the flashback. The anime also makes Johnny's death a lot more dramatic by showing us it from the perspective of Garaki's goggles, as well as an extra shot of what remained of Johnny, and I love the whole dramaticness of this scene. After the opening, the whole scene showing the outside of the hospital with Mandalay and the other heroes evacuating the patients is an anime only edition. After Mirko reports in that she found Garaki, the anime gives us a ton of extra scenes showing Aizawa using his quirk to stop the Drill Nomu, Endeavor using Flash Fire Fist, Jet Burn on the Whale Nomu, and Rocklock using his quirk on a hospital chair to block an incoming attack from a Nomu. This is definitely a welcome addition, as in the manga we only get to see the Whale Nomu already burned on the ground and the panel showing everyone fighting the Nomu. The anime also doesn't show Rocklock asking Mandalay for an update on the evacuation like in the manga. Instead, we only get to hear him over the comms. We also get another anime only scene directly after this showing Rocklock opening a door in the wall, letting Crust, Xless, and another hero in so that they can all go and help Mirko. In the manga, Crust was already shown to have been following Mirko to the morgue as soon as they entered the hospital, which my bad for forgetting to point this out in the last video, but in the last episode, when Mirko breaks into the secret morgue, Crust was removed from the background in the anime that was supposed to show that he was right behind her at one point. The anime only scene doesn't end here though, as after we see Crust enter into the morgue, the scene continues to show Rocklock and the rest of our heroes needing to fight off the rest of the Nomu before they can go down to help Mirko and the others. Here we get to see Aizawa jumping in using erasers, saving Rocklock, disabling the quirks of the Nomu, and Endeavor finishing them off using Jet Burn. Aizawa and Endeavor actually have a really dope interaction with each other, engaging in some friendly banter as well. Endeavor praises Aizawa's quirk and offers him to be his sidekick, and Aizawa kindly rejects his offer while simultaneously roasting Class 1A, which his son is a part of, and Endeavor smiles at Aizawa, respecting his decision. This was definitely a welcome addition, as we don't really get to see Aizawa and Endeavor interact with each other all that much. Moving on, we get hit with back-to-back anime only scenes as we switch over to Team Endeavor's rear guard to see what Deku and the gang are up to. Though this whole rear guard section, it was kind of a pointless addition, I did enjoy seeing Bakugo get frustrated with the fact that he was in the rear guard, which when you think about it, why is Bakugo of all people in the rear guard when his quirk would be the most useful in the advanced guard with Endeavor? Switching over to Crust in the morgue, when we see Crust and the others running down the hall, the anime heavily censors the aftermath of Mirko's rampage in the hall. The blood, brains, and overall Nomu leftovers from the manga are removed in the anime, leaving only 2 blood splatters on the wall and what looks to be Nomu sludge on the floor. At last, we switch back over to Mirko chasing down Garaki. As Garaki is about to get kicked by Mirko, he has a flashback to a conversation he had with a dressed up looking Shigaraki about the high-end Nomus. This flashback actually never happens in the manga. Instead, when he is about to get kicked by Mirko, he quickly remembers about the other high-end Nomus and decides to use them despite them not being ready. Though the dialogue between the manga and anime versions of this moment are the same, the only real difference being that Garaki's dialogue is tweaked just a bit to better fit him having a conversation with someone else for the anime. This change doesn't really bother me, as I do like how Shigaraki in the flashback is shown to be more cleaned up, sporting an almost similar look to All For One in the way that he dresses, referencing the fact that he is following in the footsteps of All For One, further emphasizing him becoming the next Demon Lord. Now get those Fs ready, everyone, because shortly after this we do get the second character death of the season, as Mocha, in her efforts to save Garaki from Mirko's kick, had received a deadly kick from the rabbit goddess herself, leaving the meanest indent in her head, ending her life. May Mocha rest in peace. Spam those Fs in the chat. Jokes aside, Mocha's death in the anime is heavily toned down compared to the manga, since in the manga, a part of Mocha's head explodes from the sheer force of Mirko's kick. Once the high-end Nomu are activated, the way Mirko got sent flying visually looked amazing. And fun fact, each of these high-end Nomu actually have names that are given to us in the manga's extra pages that for the most part are never given to us in the anime. For starters, the female Nomu is called Woman, who is calm and level-headed. The Majin Buu looking Nomu is named Ribi, who was made from the body of a psycho killer. The thick Nomu's name is Chubbs, who was made from the body of a glutton. The dripped out Nomu's name is Robot, who is equipped with armor around its head because its brain is only loosely attached. And finally, the elephant looking Nomu's name is Elef, who was specialized for pure power. When Crust finally arrives to help aid Mirko, Chubbs flies to Crust and picks a fight with the number 6 hero. Here, the anime actually extends their confrontation just a bit by showing Crust and Chubbs clashing and Crust being pushed back to where he just came from by Chubbs' power. This is definitely a welcome scene since it does help explain when the next time we see them why Crust has been forced back into the hallway that he just came out of. After the intermission, we see Crust holding back Chubbs with his shields, and here the anime removes Chubbs being hit by Crust's shield when he expands them, as well as removes Chubbs taking a bite out of Crust's shield. As Garaki is explaining the time and effort it takes to create the Nomu, the anime adds in a shot of a dead Nomu, as well as another cameo appearance from All For One, this time showing him in his Tartarus cell. We even get some added dialogue for Garaki saying that Shigaraki is his masterpiece. Switching back over to Mirko and the 4 high-end Nomu, I once again have to give praise to Bones in the way they emphasize her strength by showing us her flexing her leg muscles. We even get to see just how Mirko managed to survive the hit she took from Woman, where in the manga we don't get to see that at all. Definitely a welcome addition to the fight since it does show just how quick these pros have to react when something unexpected happens. The anime also removes the immense force Mirko used to blast off of those tanks to fly over the high-ends and land behind them. In the manga, when Mirko blasts off of the tank, she completely destroys it. This change to me kind of makes the added shot of her flexing her leg muscles earlier somewhat pointless. After this, the anime extends the Mirko versus high-end fight by showing Mirko running and dodging some of the high-end's attacks, but oh man did this anime deliver when it came to this fight. Everything from the sound design to animation was just great. Plus, hearing the noises Mirko's arm made while it was being warped definitely made me cringe. Still, I can't get over the fact that it wasn't me who got hit with a Luna Tijeras. It should have been me. Even though the anime cut out a small piece of dialogue from Robot, that lucky bastard, it still didn't affect the pure awesomeness of the fight. When Mirko gets a little breather to patch herself up, the anime adds in a line for Woman and Ribi, showing that they are upset at the fact that Robot was taken out. This to me is an interesting addition, as it does reinforce the idea that these high-end Nomus were once human. We also do get an added on shot of the remains of Robot's head. Now the next scene marks the return of the Police HQ, which we already know that the Police HQ is an anime only edition, but I do have a sneaking suspicion that they might end up playing a tiny bit of a bigger role later down the line when things start to ramp up in the war than them just being a simple way to help viewers keep track of what's going on in the war. But we'll just have to wait and see in the next couple of episodes. In the same scene though, the shot of Team Edshot's Advance Guard is also an anime only edition. Switching over to Skeptic, the anime adds in a scene where we see that he actually was spying on Hawks when Twice innocently gave him information on Shigaraki's location. When one of the Brown Regiment's vice commanders is about to use his Supreme Discharge Thundernet move, the anime adds in some dialogue from some random PLF members, shots of Edge Shot showing more of Kaminari running, and the vice commander blowing smoke right before releasing his Thundernet. And for the final addition to the anime, we see that both Midnight and Tokoyami are glad that our boy Kaminari got over his fear. The episode ends with Kaminari acting as a lightning rod, attracting the vice commander's Thundernet, which is actually a cool reference to him doing the same thing with Nine's lightning strike back in the Heroes Rising movie. Now, episode 115 adapts about 3 chapters, them being chapters 261, 262, and the majority of chapter 263. This episode was amazing to say the least. Mirko's big fight was one of my most anticipated fights to get animated, and Bones definitely delivered. Though I will say the one thing that has been bothering me when it comes to the anime and the season specifically is the scaling of everything, as well as the lack of detail in the backgrounds. It could just be me, but in the manga, things just looked a lot bigger. The villa, for instance, looks a hell of a lot smaller in the anime compared to how it looked in the manga. Regardless of that, I'm still very excited for episode 116 to finally see Hawks in action. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on the changes made in episode 115. Did you enjoy the Mirko versus High-End's fight? Let me know everything in the comment section below. With that said, thank you for watching another My Hero Academia anime versus manga comparison video. If you enjoyed the video, then be sure to Detroit smash that like button below, and don't forget to share this video with your friends. If you are new to the channel and want to see more My Hero Academia content, then be sure to subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on to join the Kitoroki Hero Academia to become my hero. Doing all of this really does help the channel out a ton, and it's always appreciated. Remember to stay plus ultra, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.